Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this week I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to talk about my favorite Halloween books. So last week I did a video called Ultimate Halloween Movie Night, and these videos are kind of just paired together, I guess, for those of us that like to spend our nights at home for Halloween, or those of us, like I'm personally not a huge partier, so I would prefer like a Halloween at home, like either reading a book or watching a movie. So that's kind of my intention with these videos. Also, there were a lot of years, especially when I worked at Universal, where like I worked from like 6 a.m. to like 4 p.m. because of like Halloween Horror Nights. And so when I got home, I was just way too tired to go out or do anything, so I just wanted to stay home and read a book or watch a movie. And that's exactly my intention with this video, is to give you guys some of my recommendations, and hopefully you will enjoy them. So without further ado, let's get on to the first book. So the first book that I recommend for you guys is Dracula by Bram Stoker. There's so many different versions of this book. I don't really think it matters which one you get. They're all probably pretty similar. I actually read this book in 8th grade, and it's been one of my all-time favorites since then. I literally loved it so much when I read it. All of my friends did in school. We would like talk about it and stuff. There was one part I remember when his wife like gets up in bed in the middle of the night and like stares out the window. I don't remember where that happens in this book, but it really got to me. I felt very spooked. It's just such a great book. It's a great classic as well. Like, this is where vampire culture starts, yo. It's so good. And I just really enjoyed reading it, and I hope that you guys will as well if you try to read it this year. And it's definitely a bit longer, so it's not one I don't think that you could probably finish on Halloween night, but it's a really good book if you want to start it like the month before or something like that. It's a great Halloween book to read, so I really enjoyed it. And it's also good for any time of the year. It's just a classic, so I really liked reading it. Next up, I have Macbeth by William Shakespeare, and also Hamlet is another really great one for Halloween as well. Macbeth is one of them that's like more like a spooky ghost story, whereas like Hamlet is more like creepy, I guess, with like everything that happens with Ophelia, and like just the story in general is a little bit creepier. Macbeth I just love for Halloween though, because like it has the witches, the ghosts. Macbeth's wife is just crazy. And like the witches say double toil and trouble, guys. This is like Halloween 101 in this book, and I just really loved it. I always get the Barnes & Noble edition for Shakespeare books, because it always has like annotations here on the side that kind of tell you what the passages mean. And I read this in high school, so you can see like I have a ton of notes in here just to help myself understand what's going on. But these are such great books. I love Macbeth. I think it's a great one to read for Halloween, and it's pretty short. It's just a play, so you could definitely read it on Halloween night if you wanted to, I'm sure. The next book that I have for you guys is The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. Another great book, another classic. This book I actually read last year for Halloween, and it was so good. I really enjoyed it. It's just very creepy and spooky, and it's the basis for so many movies and plays, and I actually really wanted, I've had it for a while, but I really had the inspiration to read it after Once Upon a Time started to spin off with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So I was like, I have to read it now. So it's really good. It's a great one for Halloween just because of the creepiness of it. And the only thing that I have to say is I wish it just went into a little more detail about the story. It leaves a few things unanswered in the end, but I still love it. It's a great like mysterious book, and definitely a creepy one for Halloween. The next book I have for you guys is Tales of the Peculiar by Ransom Riggs. I honestly recommend any of the Peculiar Children series for Halloween. I've read the first 3 because I didn't even know that another one came out after that, so I have to get that one soon so I can read it. But those are actually in storage, so I can't show you guys. But the Peculiar Children series is a great series to read for Halloween. The first book I think was like the creepiest to me, especially when they talk about the whites and they show the pictures of the whites. And it's also really creepy because the pictures that he uses in the books are all like pictures he found at like garage sales and antique stores and stuff like that. So it's kind of creepy that those pictures are like real or like they are manipulated to look like they're real. So that's kind of a cool thing. But all of those books are super, super good. And Tales of the Peculiar is a really great one for Halloween because it's so short. I read this one in like a few hours a couple years ago, and it was so cozy with just like a fall candle and things like that. It's a really, really, really great book. It's basically full of like short stories, like fairy tales, but for like peculiar kids. So I really like that. And a couple of stories like tie into, oh, I just realized that my book is signed. I had no idea that I had a signed copy. But some of the stories like tie into like the Peculiar Children series, which is kind of cool. You got like more of an in-depth scoop on it. And it just has so many gorgeous illustrations, guys. So nice, so lovely, and just another great one to read for Halloween. Probably you could even read this with your kids if you have kids. I don't think anything is like scary in here, just like spooky, I guess. But they're all really great stories with like significant meaning behind them, and that's what I really love about this book. Anyway guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you have a wonderful Halloween tomorrow night. I cannot believe Halloween is here already. It feels like this year just flew by so quickly, but I hope you guys have a great night. Send me your pictures on Instagram and Facebook, and I will be very, very excited to see them. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week as well. Next week I'll be starting my Thanksgiving videos, so please let me know what you'd like to see because I'm having a really hard time coming up with ideas for Thanksgiving videos. But I love you guys very much. Thank you so much for your support and for watching these videos, and I will see you next week. Bye! I actually read this book in 8th grade, and it's been one of my all-time favorites since then. Quiet! I actually read this book in 8th grade, and it's been one of... I'm gonna wait till my dog stops drinking water.
Eventually.